experience deep healing, how to experience true freedom, true connection to fulfillment that is only accessible through wholeness, through remembering. Remembering means coming together, because the opposite of remembering is not forgetting, it's actually dismembering. So taking things apart, and we get to remember, we get to come into wholeness. And how do we do that? Today I'm sharing with you actually what not to do. One of the very harmful things that we automatically say, that we automatically embody, and why not to do it and what to do instead. And this is something that takes courage. This is something that takes dedication. This is something that takes awareness. However, if you are here to experience that freedom, that wholeness, that connection, that bliss, that heaven on earth that is available to you right now, then this video is for you. Let's dive right in. A large part of what I do with clients, with my one-on-one work, is going into that subconscious. And you can see it any way that you want: masculine, feminine, or inner child work. And when we go into that, there's this vulnerable part of us that comes out. And that's what we get to work with, because if you can create that partnership between your conscious and your subconscious mind, you're golden. Whenever something comes up, whether any limitation comes up, once you have that partnership, that inner child or your subconscious mind or the feminine energy will let you know right away. So it is, I really cannot emphasize how crucial it is for your life, for your success, for your fulfillment, for really that deep, deep embodiment of freedom, of connection, to create that partnership with your subconscious. Here's what happens though. Here's how not to do this. A friend described at some point how they were in a restaurant, and there were many tables, and it was nighttime, and the nice music was playing. However, my friend was not focusing on the music or on the beautiful atmosphere that was really cozy and inviting. What she was focusing on was what was happening at the next table. A little girl was sitting there with her parents, and the dad was getting angry. And he yelled at her, then he stormed off that he needed a break, and the little girl started crying. And as she was crying, her mother turned to her and said, "It's okay now, be strong. You're stronger than this." And my friend got so frustrated, because in that moment, having done, this is someone who's so aware, who's so conscious, having done so much inner work, she knew that that little girl didn't need to hear how strong she was. She needed to be allowed to feel her pain, to feel her emotions, to welcome in all of her, instead of communicating to that little girl, "It's okay, don't be sad. Don't be afraid. Just be strong. Just push through it. Get yourself together." And this is what I see over and over again in my client work. When they connect to that vulnerable part of you, of themselves, and I said of you because I was like, I want to know if, this is something, how is your inner talk for yourself? Do you do that with yourself? Do you go into, right, it's going to be okay, we can get through this, it's all right, the end result's going to be okay? Or are you allowing yourself to actually fall apart? Are you welcoming in all these emotions, or are there so many parts of you that are just not okay, that are being rejected because they're not allowed, because they're not lovable? So often in my client sessions, this is most of my client sessions when we first start, when they come across this vulnerable part of themselves, and I ask, okay, what would you want? And it's a whole practice. It goes a lot deeper, but just to explain to you kind of the overview of it, they connect to that part, and there's a moment where they're called to say something to it, and I ask, okay, what's coming up? Go ahead and tell that part of you what you want to say. And oftentimes the answer that comes up is, it's going to be okay, or you're stronger than this, or keep going. And this is usually where I intervene, because that's what we've been programmed to say, right? You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. How about you don't need fixing? How about I love you just the way you are? How about all of you has the right to be? How about it's okay that you're scared right now and that you have no clue what to do? Instead of it's gonna be okay and you're gonna figure it out, which really communicates right now is not enough, where you are right now is not okay. Can right now be enough? Can right now be okay? Can you come out of that illusion of the mind, of the ego, that happiness is somewhere else? I'll be happy when, or my past was better, and right now is never enough. And the reason the mind does that is because it can't be present. The ego can't live in the present moment. It's the mind. It can only live in the past or in projections of the future. The mind can be present, but your essence is presence. And to access that, it takes accepting what is. And some of you might go, and this was totally me in the past, but like, where's that balance between, okay, I love myself, but then if I just say that, I'm not going to be doing anything. I'm not going to be evolving. So where's that balance of, I love myself the way I am, and I want improvement. I want evolution. As counterintuitive as this may seem, when you're fully, deeply present, when you're connected to your essence, naturally, that's when you want to expand. That's when you want to evolve. Because that's your essence. That's all of life, right? Like, look at our planet, keeps growing. It doesn't stop. So those fears of, oh, wait, it's not safe to be present. It's not safe to be in La La Land because you're going to get stuck there. Those are stories of the mind that are making us miserable, that are keeping us stuck. So for deep healing, can you be here now? Can all the emotions that are present here be enough? And your mind will also tell you, well, no, because if I feel it fully, I'm going to get stuck in it. You will not. Energy loves movement. Energy is movement. Everything you see around you, your hand, right, it looks solid, it isn't. Everything is in constant movement. Same with your emotions. So it is absolutely not possible to be stuck in a particular emotion when you feel it fully. And what happens is that most people kind of like experience that emotion one drop at a time. And this is why it's so painful. And this is why it goes on for years. And this is why it seems like we're stuck in that. Because we're actually not letting it through fully. So on this note, with this video, I would love to hear below, what do you hear me say? And if you're open to sharing this, because, you know, it's so much more powerful when you write it down, and you can just comment below in the video. What does it look like for you? What does coming into wholeness look like for you? What emotion are you ready to finally accept about yourself, to welcoming it in, to opening up to wholeness? What does that look like for you? And on this note, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.